Good afternoon, colleagues. You look amazing. You look amazing. I'm just going to share with you, and very briefly, the story of the Sisterhood Advocates project. So we've been doing, in line with our access to justice work, we've been doing work around violence prevention, especially gender-based violence. And for a long time, we were encouraging women to go and report any form of abuse that they experience. And it seemed like such a natural thing, you know. You are abused, you get beaten, you go and report. You go to the police station and you go and report. And what we didn't realize and what we learned, we kept saying, but you know, women don't go and report. Women go and report and they withdraw cases. And it was not making sense to us. Until in having conversations with the women that we work with and the women who support survivors of violence, until they say to us, we don't want our partners in jail. That's not a desirable outcome. We just want them to stop beating us up. That's all we want. Yeah? And I think for us, we realized that we needed to frame the conversation differently. It was clear to us that what we had been preaching, what is mainstream, is that there's a police station, you are beaten, you go to the police station. But women were telling us that's not the outcome that we want. So we started engaging more intentionally and trying to understand what some of the issues were. And women said, we still love our partners, we just want them to stop beating us. Others said, if he goes to jail, what happens to my children? Because once you take a decision to go and report your partner for abuse at a police station, there is a line that has been crossed and you can't go back. And that line could mean that it is the end of the relationship, or at least a functional relationship. So we started challenging ourselves with what it could look like, because we wanted to continue supporting and helping women. And one of the things that we learned was that women also don't go to the police station because the police stations are violent, you know. Women experience secondary victimization in the police stations, at the police stations. First of all, the police station is very patriarchal. Our police service, I sometimes think of it as a police force actually. Our police service is very male-dominated. And so when you go there and you've been violated, the first question they want to ask is, what had you done? They want to ask ukuthi nishadile or niyahlalisana, as if it makes a difference in the context of being violated. They want to say to you, go and talk this over. Akuna muntu in the family who can help you resolve this. Yeah? And women were saying, we feel judged. They ask you, is that how you were dressed? Or what had you said to him? And so we said, those are some of the reasons women don't go and report at the police station. So where do they go? And women said, our first point of call is normally extended family. You have a problem with your partner, you talk to his mother, his aunts, your sisters, etc., etc. And in that, we realized that women are saying, we already have a support structure. And so we're interested in knowing what advice do you get from that support structure. So when you go to Umamu Fundis, you know, because you have a problem of domestic violence, what does she offer you? And so we say that's where we need to intervene. We need to train ordinary women to give them skills in paralegalism, so that when you can choose to go to the police station, but if you choose to go to your pastor must be able to also give you the advice as per the law. Yeah? Your pastor must not just say, you know, this is what is available to you, you know, let's pray about it. But they must also say, if you do want, you can go and open a case. If you want, we can take it forward. And so we felt that let's intervene at the level that women are getting these services. And as Lebo said, women say to us, you go to court the courts are very intimidating. Who has been in a court? Just the building. I don't know why they built courts to look like that. Yeah, those long corridors, you know, and you're looking for a court clerk who's going to tell you which courtroom your case is in. That can be quite intimidating. So we also said women need someone to help them walk through and navigate this justice system. Women need someone who is going to encourage them. Remember, if you are raped, or whether it's an intimate partner or somebody you don't know, if you are raped, you need to go to the police station now and open it. And if you're going to open a case, they will take a statement now. Ne? But the perpetrator does not have to make a statement now. They will only make a statement when they are ready to make a statement, which means they can get a lawyer who can advise them before they even make their statement. Which means by the time they make their statement, they have thought it through and have structured it in such a way that your statement becomes lacks credibility. So we were saying we want to train women and give them skills, specifically in the Domestic Violence Act and the Sexual Offences Act, because those are the key acts that govern sexual violence in this country. We want to train them, and we want to train women who are already working with other women in their communities. In fact, in the beginning we said we want to train women who themselves have experienced violence. Because what better person than a person who knows exactly what you're talking about to be able to assist you. So we train these women, and these women are in 4 provinces. Like Bongi said, we now have in excess of 3,000 people, women that we have trained. And we call them sisterhood advocates. Sisterhood because these, like they will say, these are the sisters we've been going to in our communities. Yeah? Advocates because they are lawyers now, ne? Or are they? Advocates because they are advocating for our rights, ne? And they are supporting us and advocating for our dignity. So it's called the Sisterhood Advocates Project. And we say we want to train these women in the key areas around our law, and we want them to offer the service not just in the community advice offices through which they were recruited. We want to place them in communities. Because violence doesn't wait to happen when the police station is open. Ne? Violence happens in the middle of the night, where women cannot, where there are no taxis running for you to catch a taxi to the police station. So who do you go to? Who do you turn to? So we train women in their communities. We station some of them in clinics, some of them in hospitals, some of them in police stations, some of them in the local courts, some of them were already in the churches, so in the community structures that existed, some of them in schools, and we placed them there and said, if anybody has a problem, yeah, before you go to the police station, and it doesn't mean you will not go to the police station, before you go to the police station, here is someone who's closest to you, who might even accompany you to that police station, who will walk with you, you know, throughout the process. Some of these cases take over years before they are, before a conviction is secured. And during that time, the court process is also very violent. Our justice system in courts is very adversarial. It's not just inquisitorial where they are asking questions for purposes of getting more information. They ask questions for purposes of determining your credibility, for purposes of discrediting you, so that this case can be watered down. So these women are working with other women through the court system, through the police system, through the court system, through the community, because once you've been violated, there is stigma. There's a lot of social stigma. Often women tell us, we didn't go to report because what will the community say? I had a personal experience where my helper, coming from a weekend off on a Sunday, was raped just outside, you know, the premises as she arrived. And she was a live-in helper, and so we tried to support her. And when I first asked her, I said, so, after we'd gone through the whole, hospital process, gone to the police station, opened the gate, goes to the hospital for the examination and all of that. And when we got home in the early hours of the morning, because this happened in the evening, and it took us the whole night to navigate the system. When we got home in the early hours of the morning, I said to her, you can go home, you can take time off, you don't have to be here. And she said to me, if I go home, I'll have to tell my family what happened. I said, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, I thought she might have already informed them. And she said, no. There's a lot of stigma associated with being raped. I cannot afford for my husband to know that I was raped, because that will ruin our relationship. So I then offered her to bring her sister to come and stay with her at the house, because I just felt we couldn't leave her home alone, after this had happened. And she said, not even my sister should know about my ordeal. So I think there's still a lot of stigma associated with being violent. Women sit in abusive relationships not because they want to, but because they are afraid of what the neighbors will say, what our families will say, what our workmates will say. And so again, these sisterhood advocates are helping women with providing psychosocial support, providing support through very difficult and emotionally challenging situations. So it's a pity that BAMF has just stepped out. When we conceptualized the project, we didn't have any funding for it. We didn't have any funding for it, but we believed in the concept. And so when the IDC came and said, we are looking for projects that could generate employment, but also provide social good, we said, this is the project for us. We said, this is the project for us because we were clear that these are people who will be providing a service, a critical service to our communities. And the IDC was prepared to pay for them. So that's how we became part of the Social Employment Fund. And like I said, today we've trained over 3,000 women. We currently have on our books 2,700. And you'll ask what happened to the 300. Like in every project, there's attrition. But a lot of the attrition we've had has been good attrition. Because some of those women are now employed within the Department of Justice. I know that there was a colleague from the Department of Justice. I don't see him anymore. I wish he was here. But some of those women have actually been absorbed. We've had interest from government departments to provide further training to these women. We've had the Department of Labor come and say, we would like to teach them in labor rights, labor law, We've had DSD come in and say, we also want to work with these people. This morning I was speaking to the gentleman from the Department of Justice, and he said, we want to partner you. We want to expand this program. We want you to employ more women who are helping other women in the community. And for us, partnerships with government is what will make this project sustainable. Because the Social Employment Fund will come and go. The people who give us money, our back-end funders, or donors as we call them, will come and go. But if government sees value in this and takes it forward and runs with it, it will be integrated as one of our government-funded projects. And if it is funded through the fiscus, it will be much better for us to sustain it. Then we don't have to rely on developing funding proposals to various funders, which I'm sure all of you know is very challenging. So I want to say to you today, having come, this far, we felt that we need to recognize the work that you're doing. We felt that, as Chiesa said and as Lebo said before she left, we see you. We see you. And we value the work that you're doing. And we've had a lot of opportunities for feedback where you've told us about the work that you're doing and the challenges that you're facing. We are not blind to those challenges. Prof. Pikiana reminded us that in this country, police stations are guarded by private security firms. Yeah? Police stations. Now, who is guarding the woman who is trying to protect somebody's wife, and that somebody is by the gate and saying, "Magaphume go. I want her out now because I want to talk to her." Who is guarding those women when their safety is threatened? And what are we going to do about it? Yeah? So we don't have all the answers. We are hoping that as we walk this journey with you, we will co-create a model that we will, scale up and amplify so that we can increase our reach and increase our impact. So we see the work that you're doing, we recognize it, and we are very appreciative of the work that you've been doing. And I want to thank the Community Advice Office management teams who are represented here in their numbers. We want to thank you for hosting this project because, again, we are a community fund. We're not an implementing organization. So we rely on you as the implementers on the ground. So I want to thank you for nesting this project and adopting it as one of your many projects that allows you to have more hands and feet in the communities that you serve. And I also want to appreciate all the administrative excellence you've helped us deal with. You heard Bavanesh talk about my team and the administrative excellence in my team. We could not do it without you. It is those timesheets that you submit on time that enable us to submit a payment file to the IDC on time, that enables the IDC to pay us. So thank you very much, colleagues. And I hope you enjoyed the rest of the award ceremony. And once again, congratulations. And I would have liked to thank my board chair, who has also become a sister to me, and a sister to us as an organization, because she's not just the kind of board chair who is overseeing, but she's also an activist in the trenches and understands the complexity of the work that we are doing. So Lebo in absentia, I do want to thank her. Thank you very much, colleagues, and have a good evening.